All right, this week on the Sunday Roast, we have a massive, massive show. So when we record it, we always record the first Friday to Saturday games. Then we finish about an hour in. So if you skip to an hour, Jev goes off to the footy for Swans and St Kilda. So as soon as you get back, or if you skip to an hour, that's when Jev gets back from the game. And I'll tell you what, all hell breaks loose. The fans talk and they let Jev know how they really feel. So if you're new to the show and you only want to hear that, you can skip to that. If you want to listen to the whole show, as usual, guys, start from the start. We go through. It's about an hour and 40. It's good, honest content. Give it a listen. Go the roast. Come on.
Welcome back to the Sunday Roast, the show where we roast the losers, celebrate the winners, and give all the best odds of the bets we wish you're on. It is the round 17 edition. We had last week off. We apologise. We had a lot going on, and I feel like we shirked it because the Swans finally lost and we didn't do a roast. But joining me as always, Darcy Dobe. How are you, brother?
I've had a bad weekend, Jev. When the Bombers win on prime time, my little love child, the Hawks, lose in an absolute convincing fashion. And then we lose in what was one of the weirdest games I've ever seen in my life. So I don't really know what to take from it. We will deep dive into that. But apart from that, it's been all right. It's been all right. There's been some weird results this round, Jev.
It's good to be back. It's only Sunday morning now, so it's about 11:30 Sunday morning. We're getting the games out because I'm going to watch the Showtime Swans play. We're going to win by about 70 points, Darth, and then I'm going to come back tonight. We're going to finish the roast. I'm going to be happy. I'm going to give it to the Saints, how I see it in person. But let's go back all the way to Friday night. The Bombers get it done on primetime, as you said, against the Pies by 12 points. Big crowd, MCG, big final, basically. The Bombers stand up. I was impressed. Talk to me.
Yeah, so was I, Jev. So 5 goals, 2 to 2 goals, 5 in the first quarter. Zach Merritt kicked, I think, the first goal. And he gets my respect more and more every single week. So he single-handedly kept them in the game in that first quarter and a half before they really started to surge. His running patterns and his ability to always get to his left foot is unbelievable. Most left footers always are pretty good at it, aren't they, Jev?
Yep.
To get onto their left. They usually have no right. But the way that he always runs to that side of the ground, his spoiling ability, his chase down tackles, his want to continually get back inside contests. So he came out the other week. We're massive NFL fans, and he said that listening to Cooper Kupp, who's a receiver for the Rams, he's almost plays like a quarterback. He watches so much film. And Zach Merritt says, I love ball like that. Everything I'm doing now is to set myself up for another 8 to 10 years of football. He wants to keep playing every meal he has, recovery. He just wants to keep being the best. And you watch him play, he's so just team first. Whatever he has to do. Some of his kicking, he was putting these balls through a keyhole and like just slicing and doing everything he can to get his team going. Then Durham starts to get going. Then Caldwell starts to get going. And yeah, I thought at the start when Crispy, our boy, right boys, it's Crispy. Put one right through the big sticks. Big lady comes with the naughty ones. Like he kicked 3 in 3 minutes.
Yeah, that was unbelievable.
And I thought that they were going to win by 50 points.
So did I. And I was going to rip the Bombers to shreds. Now, I'm super happy for the Bombers. As I said, I like the product they put out in their park. I like their mids. I like their back line. They've got good forwards. I like their forward line. You just can't trust them as far as you can throw them until you see them win a final. But that was a big step. 5 goals down quarter time. You ask Bombers supporters of old. That turns like late in the year last year, they lost to Collingwood by 70 points on a Friday night footy. Lost the Giants. 5 goals down a quarter time turned into bloody 70-point losses. They just stayed composed. They took their time and they just came back and won it. I was super impressed and just, get it done. It gives you confidence going forward. They're definitely going to play finals. We know we don't judge them until they're playing finals and if they win or lose, but super happy for them. But then Collingwood, on the other hand, Darcy, we said it after they were 0-3 and then everyone was like, they can't win the flag. They can't.
They look cooked now, don't they?
They're not good. They're just not good enough.
Too many injuries.
I know it's probably more than a Nick Dacos injury away because he's the best player in the game or top 3. But they've just got too many injuries. They put too many average players on the park. If Nick Dacos isn't God out there, they don't win. They just don't. And Brody Mychek's now out for the season. I haven't thought they could win the flag all year. I think the Swans and Carlton are tiers above them. But, you know, they're still Collingwood. They still bring 90,000 supporters to the MCG and they're intimidating to play and they got the young GOAT, and when he's up and about, you start getting a bit nervous. But they're just not winning the premiership, Das.
Yeah, it's hard to argue with that. But at the start, you're like, fuck, they're just going to come out with this shit siding or this average lineup and just get it done. But they didn't. Dobe has been a multi-killer all year, Jev. Another 19 disposals. Ooh. I thought Howe was really good early. Like, there was that one-on-one with Redmond. Remember, it came in quick. He was out of position, and then Marky, fuck. The Pies look absolutely on here. But we want to touch on, so we watched a fair bit of his under-18s work. So that's your man, Knacker's Caddy.
Yeah, love Knacker's Caddy.
Being obviously a Carlton fan, it's not just the number 30, the athleticism. He is literally identical to a first-year Charlie Curnow.
Yep.
It is identical, apart from his mum's probably a little bit hotter. Did you see his...
Don't worry, I saw Channel 7 just cross to her. As soon as he goes near the ball, it's bang, hot mum, bang, milk.
She's a smoke show. Oh, my God. I hope he keeps kicking goals. So we get to see a little bit more.
We want to see him kick 100 goals in the season. Just kick 10 one night, son. Just keep kicking them.
But yeah, how good does he look?
Yeah,
like you don't even care if he misses. Like he's almost just got like a 2-3 year teething phase where it's like just go out and be you. But that one where he came back towards goal.
Yeah.
And then fully stretched, took that mark and went back and kicked it. He's honestly, and I don't think people have seen his athleticism as much yet. He can sit on heads.
Yeah.
And he looks like he's got that moxie, like that confidence, the tips in the hair. Wait till he really starts to get a hold of sides. Like you can just see, I just don't see that in Harry Jones.
Yeah.
Like Harry Jones just doesn't have that, or like Harry Mackay sometimes doesn't have it. You know those players that just like, they play a little bit timid. He has it. So Caddy and all you Essendon fans should be pumped. Like he's going to be one. I think Matthew Richardson said
the way you and me talk about culture, dear. The way we talk about culture, dear, but then we can talk about Nate Caddy the same. It's like you just want to see him flying for every footy that goes in the forward line.
Yeah.
Occasional marks and having shots at goal. Like marks and shots at goal are the key, because eventually if he gets... He's only getting 4 and he kicks 2 goals too. Eventually, when he becomes the number 1 in that forward line, it's going to turn to 10 targets. Lance Franklin at the Swans used to get about 20 targets a game. Like Charlie Curnow, when he's on, they just keep kicking it to him. So that 5 targets inside forward 50 turns to 3 marks, turns to 2 goals too. Eventually, it's going to be 15 targets, 12 marking opportunities, 7 shots at goal, and he might kick 4 goals, 3. So he's only going to get better. Yeah, you got to get around him.
And his best friend is going to be that defensive side of the midfield, because then when they can get those quick turnover transition, every single time the ball comes in quick, you'd back himself for those one-on-ones.
Yeah.
Every time he was a little bit more of a slower play and they had to come up a bit more methodically, then that's when teams can get back. Then they can 2-on-1, try and come over the top. But Darcy Moore, we're going to roast him, Jev. He's having an absolute shocker.
Oh, yeah.
He's kicking so bad. Isaac Quainer. Yeah. You know why? I reckon I remember after they won the grand final, remember there was a video of him running on the treadmill like 3 days later, like doing efforts?
He's cooked.
Yeah, because you try and go too hard and be a hero. You try and get a few clicks online.
I think he's one of the biggest myths in the AFL.
You got to have a break. You got to have a couple months off. You look at all the NFL players. It's so intense. There's so much on your body. Then you take 2 or 3 months off. Look at fighters.
Yeah.
Like they only have it like an 8-week camp and then they peak. Obviously footy's different because it's so long, but you need to give your body time to recover. Yeah. Your muscle memory, especially when you've been in the system for that long, you put the muscle back on like that, you can pick up your endurance, you know how to play the game, you sharpen up your skills and then you go.
Yeah.
Like you got to give yourself a rest.
No, I agree. I think he's such a fucking myth. And like our Collingwood supporters get shocked if you call him a myth, but he's bang on average, isn't he? He's okay. Yeah. He's bang on average. We better not talk too much here. Darcy Moore, stay woke, go broke. He always has these fucking shit speeches and then he's playing like a lemon. Worry about the footy before you fucking worry about everything else in the world. But I just want to know, do you reckon Darcy Moore, he's a little psychologically shot after nearly killing Christian Petrarca? Then he broke Jared Witz's vertebrae last week. And it's not saying change the way you play, but he's copped it a little from just playing how he's always played. He's put 2 knees into guys. It's like a 1 in a million incident that's happened twice in the last 4 weeks. And now he's stuck in his own head a little bit.
Yeah, I'd fucking play into it. I'd tell the next person I'm going to fucking knee you in the ribs.
That's what old school defenders would have done.
Who gives a
Like,
fuck?
you pop in that hole, there's a big knee coming right to your kidney.
100%. If you're the loose defender, fuck you. I'm going to come straight in with my knee.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Fuck him.
Fuck him.
Shave your head. Honestly, I reckon the buzz cut. Imagine if he came out next week with a buzz cut. He'd come out and have a career game.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to piss off a couple of Collingwood supporters saying they can't win the flag, but we both agree they are not winning the 2024 premiership.
Nope.
So if they win the flag, you and me will eat those world's hottest gummy bears, the hottest in the world. But if one Collingwood supporter messages us, replies to a comment on YouTube, whatever it is, says no, they will win the flag. If they don't win it, they have to eat it.
We're going to screenshot it.
Yeah.
And we're going to screenshot your name and we're going to put it live on our story.
And you have to eat the world's hottest gummy bear because they are not winning the flag. We'll eat 2 if they win it. They only have to eat 1 if they don't win it. Basically, Collingwood versus Field, but they are not winning premiership. Any odds we need to talk about? I know we put something up on Insta. Jack Crisp was $10.50 for 2, which he had at about the 7-minute mark of the first quarter. Then he kicked another.
Red Bulls.
There won't be too many great odds. Like Morgs put a lot of them on Insta. Side ass, the toe ball for 30 was, I'm just getting up the Insta Morgs put up. So we had Chris was $10.50 for 2. He was $2.50 for 1. Jai Caldwell was $3.40 for 30. That's $3.15 for any time. He's a good player to us. You were on him early. I was a bit slow to the party. I probably like Durham a little more, but they're both good players.
No, I wasn't on Caldwell. I said it was a myth.
Oh, right.
Did you see him? Remember against the final against the Dogs in the COVID year? He had like 13 possessions the first quarter, then he started raining.
And he went to soup.
It was never seen again.
Fuck, you got 21 to 1 for side bottom to have 30. Geez, that would have been nice.
Yeah, he had like 10 in the first quarter or something.
Yeah, he was on fire. Any others? Pendles kicked a goal.
He looked slow, Pendles.
Do you have anything to say about Dacos? Geez, Dacos cops it when they lose and he doesn't play that well.
Yeah, so I was going to say, and maybe I was on my phone every time he touched the ball, but I couldn't believe that he had 31. I'm like, he's been held here.
Yeah.
He hasn't done anything. I was like, 31?
But you notice when Chris kicked that 3 in a row, I noticed the Bombers supporters noticed it. He was getting tagged. It was coming off Darcy Cameron's hand into Dacos, and then he was getting it out, and he was drawing all the attention. So you got to, that's still impressive stuff. But yeah, let's go to the next game. Hey,
beautiful.
Fuck the Pies. Yes or no? Will the Bombers win a final?
Nah.
I'm gonna say no comment yet. I'll lean no though.
Yeah, don't sit on the fence.
Nah. Depends who they play. Anyway, imagine Gold Coast sneak into 8th and they've got Gold Coast at the G. They're certainties, 5th versus 8th. Yeah. I don't think they're going to make top 4. Oh, maybe they will. They nearly don't want to make anyway. Next game, North versus Gold Coast. North get it done by 4 points. Damien Hardwick reflects on what we're all fucking thinking. Gold Coast need to grow the fuck up.
Yep.
Talk to me.
This was... Fuck, when we spoke about it all week, you're like, this is a bogey game. This is a game North are going to win. And then we're all like, nah, it's not going to happen. Gold Coast have to buck the trend eventually. And then it's just like, nah, they won't. Breast Milk's playing in the side. He's in the pyramid. He's now out of the pyramid.
Oh,
he's out.
I'll get to that in a minute.
You know who he's a straight swap with? And we can do it today. I can tell you. Jake Waterman can take his spot. Jake Waterman will have a good game today, and we can put him in the in the pyramid. But this is as weak as performance. Oh, what is going on? Touk Miller actually injured his arm, which I think he might be out for a long time. Doesn't look too good. But Bailey Humphrey can only play in the heat. Lukosha, 6 touches. At home, you look at their team when they beat these good sides, you're like, fuck, they're actually you can buy into their players.
Yeah, they're stacked.
And then when they play away from home, you're like, these guys fucking suck.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you reckon?
It would be so frustrating. I was listening to it a little bit. I was working, but it's a mix. if Gold Coast are fucking serious, they need to just go and win this game, but they're not. But I have to be happy for North Melbourne. So, like, how impressed? So, Harry Sheasel came into the pyramid. He's staying. Like, he is a stud. He is a star. Now he's a forward half player, and every touch he gets is golden. He's a stud. Colby McKercher back in the side, 37 touches. Like, you know those videos on Insta when you unhook your dog at the dog park and he looks at you and then just sprints off and does zoomies. Yes. That's Harry Sheasel as soon as that's Colby McKercher as soon as he gets a blade of grass in front of him. Zoomies. He just goes. That one where he took 4 bounce on the wing and hit Larky on his left, that was nice.
Did you see the second bounce or the third one? He went to pull up and fake the kick, and the Gold Coast defender dragged off, and then he kept going.
He did it again, And then LDU's in as good as form as any mid in the comp. He's a star. 1 goal, 30 touches. They've still got George Wardlaw to come into that side.
So and Dersma, obviously he'll come back in eventually.
He'll be a good player.
So we said at the start of the year in our preview, we could be looking at this midfield in 4 to 5 years' time, and this could be one of the greatest 2 or 3 year drafts ever assembled.
Yeah, well, it could be. It just depends how you see it. If it had Horn Francis and Harley Reid, would it already be that? But then it's like
you got to wait because the midfield shine when the rest of the team can come with you. So this midfield can be as good as they want, but if you're not holding up down back and you're not kicking goals up forward, you're still going to get beat. So you're not going to get the credit you deserve. But once they get a couple more pieces around and the rest lift, this midfield is just going to pop out of sight. Like, they're already standing out.
They've found one in Tristan Jerry as well. Like, he's a competitor. He fucking It's all you want in your ruckman. Like, someone that gives effort, energy, and just competes. Found one. Bet Das, Gold Coast Suns. Are we sure that wasn't Max King out there for one? Are we positive that was? I took a risk. I took a shot. I looked at his form. I'm like, that is pyramid worthy. You kick goals like that. The only player like that is Charlie Curnow. He is ready. He's out and he's fucking blacklisted from 100K and the pyramid. What a skirt. What a fucking skirt. So the emails we sent out to the Patreons for our 100K, we changed it a bit, and it only had Larky 1, Ben King 1 instead of Ben King 2. So it changed a bit. So we weren't dead of the 100K first game because of him, but fuck, that's weak as water. I was checking the stats. It was near halftime, 0 possessions, -3 AFL fantasy points, just weak as water. So he is out. I want Morgs to repost a pyramid with a blank space. I think Jeremy Cameron should come back in. He's back, Jez Cameron does. With Hawkins out, with him like inside the 50, close to goal, he is back. Jake Waterman apparently isn't playing today. Did you see Alex Waterman messaged us saying he got like studs to the quad?
No, I've been chatting to Harvey yesterday.
Oh, so is Harvey here?
Harvey's playing.
Is he playing?
Yeah.
Fuck, we should have gone.
But I know you're going the other game. So
I know, but I still would have gone to this game for an hour.
Oh.
Our mate Harvey Johnson plays for... because he got named as the emergency.
Harvey?
Yeah. Yeah, he's the emergency. Unless he's a late in. Did he say he's playing?
No, on the last other one I saw that he said he was definitely in, but unless he's gone to emergency.
Unless they're pulling Waterman out.
No, because I know Waterman had surgery on Monday on the inside of his leg, because Harvey sent me that video and I sent one back to him. I'm like, is the mud flap ready to dog walk May and Lever again? He's like, mud flap's ready to take him on, he said.
Perfect. All right, let's stay at this fucking game. Ben King's fucking out of the pyramid. Gold Coast on the road are as weak as they come. You want to get form on the Suns? We picked this though. We did on the pod, we did take North plus the 17 points. Like that was a good bet. I'm happy for North. They've got guys. Like
you find yourself rooting for them, don't you?
Yeah.
Like you find themselves that they've been in those spots for so long and you're like, fuck, I hope they win for their supporters. We're going to make Dan Maloney, and he's a genuine shin bone of that bloke.
He DM'd me the second Harry Shiz was in the pyramid. Like, thank you so much. So, any odds for this game? You got some odds, Das?
I did. I'm just trying to find where they were.
What do you want, goal kickers or disposals?
Oh, this preview thing isn't fucking working. How? 1 second. Give me... Fill some airtime for 30 seconds, Jev, while I scroll down.
Fuck. So, Larky's kick 3, Ben Long, Sam Day 2, Benny Ainsworth a single, but then Teakle 2, LDU 1, Shields 1, Zerha 1, Paul Curtis 1, Kay Dawson, who I've never heard of, 1, Toby Pink 1, Sheezer 1, Jerry 1. How many goal kicks is that? 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 10 goal kicks. That's what Carlton look like. That's what the Swans look like.
So,
that is exciting for North.
So Colby McKercher, Jeff, 35 touches was $4.60.
Geez, that's pretty short for his first game back.
Mate, it's because they just know he's a fucking ball magnet.
Sheezel for 35.
Sheezel for 35 as well was $5.
It's nice. LDU for 30.
LDU for 30 was $2.45.
Noah Anderson for 30
was $2.35.
And then a couple of 25s. Got Simpkin for 25. I reckon that will be about the $4 mark.
$2.50.
Yeah.
They're all pretty short. Let's just go goal kickers.
Goal kickers. So you got Larky for 3. Should have been 4. He gave one to Shields in the goal square.
$2.85. That's still a good price.
That's a good price. He was like $1.70 for 2. That was a moral. Ben Long, Sam Day for 2.
Ben Long's having a good year, Jeff.
Yeah, he kicks goals. He's kicked 2 goals too. That's 4 shots a goal.
Yeah, so he's $1.90 and Sam Day's $1.83. So all pretty short on that front.
And then just singles, probably LDU, maybe Toby Pink, Sheezel.
LDU. Toby Pink was $2.18. LDU was $2.20. Yeah, they're all pretty short. Pretty short.
Oh, well. Happy for North. The Suns are weak as they come. Anything else you want to cover on this game? Ben King's out of the pyramid, basically.
Out of the pyramid, Jeff.
He is done. I'm sure I've got to wait 3 weeks to take him out. Blacklist him. Now, for one of the weakest performances of the weekend, the Marvel Heroes. They finally have to leave the igloo after 7 weeks in a row, and they got to play in a bit of sunlight. It's like Howie or Dewey from the Benchwarmers. You know that guy that's scared of the sun? What's his fucking name? Howie. That is the whole of the Bulldog side. They go outside, they play in the sun, and they become as weak as water. They were pitiful yesterday. Port Adelaide win by 48 points. This game wasn't close. It was over at quarter time. It was over at half time. Talk to me, Das.
Yeah, it's easy when first time you get to play an opponent that aren't wearing ski boots for the first time. Like, it's that easy. They couldn't get their hands on it. And you could tell when they were playing, they were just trying to – so they kept talking about that there's not that much pressure on the ground, but it's a lot of skill errors. They actually said it was swirling a lot, the wind. But Port Adelaide were just trying to go fast and just handball. And the Dogs could not get their hands on it. Like we talk about the first quarter, Rosie had 18 touches and Butters had 14 and a goal.
Yeah. And
they just absolutely dismantled him. Bont can't be right.
I think he's sore.
Remember he had those back spasms? What did he still kick? 2 goals, 3. Like he just wills his way on contests. Like he kicked that really nice goal to get them in it. He's a gun. Jordan Sweet, he looked like he really tried to rip into Tim English early. He's obviously must have been hearing it from the Port Adelaide fan base. But what a weak fan base the Port Adelaide supporters. Like they hiss and curse all week and then Never Tear Us Apart comes on and then they want to sing it at the top of their lungs. So Port Adelaide supporters, grow the fuck up. Like you shouldn't play that song for a couple of weeks. So you guys are just, Actually, they're actually pretty funny, Port Adelaide supporters. When we were there in gather round, you can tell Port fan base compared to Adelaide. They are as rough as guts, the power. Can't power.
So Jordan Sweet, I was working, I had a headphone in, I was listening to Jared Healy, King stuff. They reckon he gave Tim English an absolute bath in the first half. Bubble bath, squeaky clean, extra soap, sponge, shampoo, the works. They just bathed him. Tim English is a bit of he's all right, he's good. But happy for Jordan Sweet because the Port Adelaide ruckmen have been copping it. They've been getting their own couple of baths, So,
well, let's have a look at this. So the Blues have the Dogs next week. Like, Bailey Williams had 10 touches. Vandermeer had 8. 8 touches. Sanders needs to come on. Ed Richards, our man, just didn't do as well. Only had the 17. So O'Donnell got subbed out. Norton got subbed off injured. Didn't have a touch. Rory Lobb, Buku Karmas, Gallagher, Taylor Duray now looks slow. Nick Caulfield, what's he doing? Brambled eggs. Jamari Ugle-Hagan, I know he's got some personal issues, but he needs to have a look in the mirror, whether he's ready to play football or not. Like, I'm not going to bang on someone if you got personal read, but if you're going to play. If not, don't. Like I'm sure you've got a million kids in the twos that want to come up and try and play your spot. He hasn't played a meaningful game this year, Jev. And that's fair income. You got McNeil. Like, you just got this team when they're at home and they're front running against shit sides. It looks good.
Under the lid when it's all easy.
Adelaide under a little bit of pressure. They've absolutely been getting spanked and they've been getting ripped apart in the media. And they come out and just put fucking 5 goals on you in the first quarter and you guys look absolute second rate.
Yeah.
Absolute second rate. The only person that can really hold their head high, I think, Bont. And then when you look at Treloar, like he's been trying all year. So apart from that, they are absolutely doggies.
I'll tell you what, if you're a Port Adelaide supporter, I don't know what it would have been like at the ground, but you could see their effort. You could see the tackling effort they were trying to put on the game and how they were coming to meet the Dogs as they got it and they were sticking their tackles. They were physical. But then, like, there's a couple of things, like, we always say this, don't get beaten by what you know, Darcy.
Yeah.
You don't let Kane Farrell and Dan Houston get handball receives and stuff. You just make it hard for them. They were just running around doing what they want. And then, Darcy, I've got to give some love because I dropped him from the pyramid. Jason Horne-Francis had an all-time third quarter. Like an all-time So, like, he's only had 3 goals, 20 touches. He kicked 2 goals, 1 in the third quarter. He just looked like when Bont is a mid that's going forward and you just look like he's going to kick a goal every time he gets down there, or Chad Warner or Isaac Heaney when they're on and they find themselves forward. That's what Horne-Francis looked like. He was just looking so dangerous and he looks like the man down there. And then we're going to give a bit of love to our man, Georgiadis, Mitchiadis. He's kicked 4 at quarter time. That's what we wanted to see from the big fella. After he had a goalless game last week, he's kicked 5. He can play, Darcy. So I'm happy for him.
You might be having a rest next week, Jev.
What'd he do?
I just punched someone in the face, just a bit of a strike. He told him, he's like, oh, I've kicked 4 on ya. Knuckle sandwich, come smell the cheese.
So, like, look at some of these stats. So, Georgiadis 5, Horne-Francis 3, Ollie Lord, he looks like he can play 1, Rosie 1, Sweet 1, Wines 1, Butters 1, Burn-Jones 1, Quinton Narkle 1, and then they've had Rosie 36, Butters 33, Wines 30. They've just dominated them, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. That's their perfect game. They like to play that real fast style. They got absolutely bogged in the sand last week against the Saints. In a mare. They try to play really fast against us and against a few other sides. But who gets the votes?
Wow. Yeah, it's a good call. I don't think Bont will get one. I think Georgiadis is going to slip in. You kick 5. I think Horn's going to slip in.
Rosie Butters?
Probably Rosie. Yeah, it's 4 guys getting 3 sets of votes. I don't know. Probably Rosie best on. 1 goal, 2, 36 touches, 18 at quarter time, and the game was over. So I was like watching this game because I had Jamara to kick 1. I'm like, they've kicked 0 goals in the first quarter, 3 goals at halftime, 4 goals at 3-quarter time they've kicked in a game of football. They've only kicked 4 goals, and then 8 goals for the game. Like, weak as water. If Bont wasn't playing, they've kicked fucking 6 goals for the game, probably 2 goals for the game.
Your call's bang on. Where when you look at the Dogs, look at 8th to 9th. So they're in the 8.5 rated team. Yeah. And then that's how you know where everyone else is. So on the ladder currently, what are they? They're 10th. So that's exactly where they are.
They're your barometer. Are they better than the Dogs? Are they worse than the Dogs? If you're better than the Dogs, you're probably playing finals. If you're worse than the Dogs, you're out of the 8. They are middle of the pack, bang on average, mediocre. You got some odds for us, Stars?
I do. You can read them out. Give me some stuff. But I also want to say, I want to come up with a list of where the best times of games would be to play. So a 110 game playing at Adelaide Oval
beautiful, didn't it?
The dream. It would be the fucking dream, Jev. How good does it look? Aesthetically, a crisp red footy
play yesterday? Yeah, it looked amazing. Huh?
Yeah, it did. It's like you'd love to play 440 or that day game at the MC. I really like the Twilight Saturday Arvo at the MCG. You get a bit of day and then you still got that night finish, like 320. Ooh.
Oh, yeah, it would be cold. That looks like a good game to play in. What do you want, disposals or goals?
Whatever you want to give me.
Goals, Mitch Georgiadis, 5.
George Michiades.
21 to 1, I'll go. How much?
17.
17. Horn, 3.
Horn, the horny one for 3. Jason Horn-Francis. 10.50. It's
Not
pretty
bad.
good.
Bont, Tim English for 2.
Bont, Tim English. Bont for 2 was 2.30. Tim English. Where the fuck's Tim English?
Nothing.
$9.
And then disposal. So there'll be some good ones here. Trelaw and Rosie for 35.
Trelaw and Rosie. So 35. Trelaw was 3.30. Rosie was 7.75.
Nice. Butters and Wines for 30.
Wines has actually been okay in some games this year. $12 for 30 for Wines.
Ooh,
and
that's nice.
Butters was 2.35.
Yeah, it's still nice. So some nice odds there. Geez, you would have made some money if you had Wines 30 into Mitch Michiadis for 5. You would have made some cash. Righto, let's move on. That's that game. Any last roastings you want to give?
Nah, that'll do.
What do you think of Port Adelaide going forward?
I still don't. They're that middle.
They're 5th to 10th.
Say if there's teams in quarters, they're the third.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Next game, the Cats. What they do at GMHBA Stadium is they give teams drive down there, they get an ass kicking, they drive home with a sore ass. Hawthorn rocked up, got an ass kicking and come home cold. They would have been fucking freezing the Hawks after that ass kicking. That was just vintage Geelong, 51 points. It was over from the start when Jeremy Cameron kicked 3 points in the first 30 seconds of the game. It was 4 goals at quarter time and basically game over. Talk to me.
You seen the meme of Abe Simpson, how he walks in, turns around, comes out? That was the Hawks.
The Hawks walked in, ass kick and walk out.
Yeah, and then straight out. I hated watching this game. I thought he was so boring. The Hawks were just down early, and then it was just skill errors coming inside forward 50 were disgusting. What Geelong were able to do defensively, the amount of intercept marks, Collar Jasny, Henry, Stewart, Tui, everyone. Yeah. Everyone absolutely just had a field day down back. We said Cowboy Neil, Jev, Shannon Neal, he would absolutely run through the talent in Geelong. Oh, like Fogarty on the Woolshed Bull, Jev. He would have an absolute run through town, the big Cowboy. I like him. I'm actually going to start looking at him in further for more goals. So surely he's going to come in for Stanley Blitzarves. It's him, and who's that other guy that keeps getting injured? The big, tall, funny
I can't remember.
It's Conway?
Yeah, that's it.
Those two seem so. It looks like they've got a little bit of their height back. You think to this side, I was looking. Bailey Smith has to go there, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what pick they were because he's not an unrestricted free agent. So the Hawks have pick 5 this year.
Yep.
That would be a great one to give up to the Dogs. I don't know what Geelong would have to give up though.
Yeah.
But Bailey Smith seems like a perfect player
and
like for Geelong for what they need.
He'd come in and basically be their number 1 mid as well. So like Danger's on the back end, and he'll still be number 1 next year. But Bailey Smith knows he's going there to be a part of and he'll be their number 1 mid. And that's what he whinged about at the Dogs. He wanted to be in there, but he couldn't crack in front of Bont. That's when McRae was flying, Libba, Trelaw, and he was put out on a flank or on a wing. He'll go there and be their number 1 mid, and he'll be in every centre bounce. He'll play 100% midfield time. That's exactly what he'll want to do.
Especially if Holmes can sort of... So if you watch the start of this game, Patrick Dangerfield and Tom Stewart were just so physical.
Yeah.
And like, you can just tell, like, they're pushing blokes, they're cracking in. Like, you know, when you can just hold on someone, but then they just keep driving their shoulder. Like, they wanted to make it physical. So you'd like to see Max Holmes to eventually get to that point as well. How many more years do you reckon Jez has got?
3. He's only a year older than us, so he's 31. And they play longer down at Geelong because they barely fucking train. They're just farming and then recovering sort of thing.
So if you get him, they probably, I think that's why Bailey Smith is perfect for that like little bit more speed and class. But yeah, they had a really good game. You thought the Hawks would have been fun for a few weeks. They had a shocker. Gunston got subbed off with 2 touches. There was so many mistakes. Lloyd Meek got turned over a few times.
The fizz was cold.
Yeah. Josh Weddle had some talk about baths.
Yeah.
Oh, Jeremy Cameron gave him a squeaky clean. He kicked some balls directly inside the corridor that came straight back over his head.
Yeah.
Connor McDonald played all right. CJ started to get into Jez Cameron. Then he dropped his lunch twice. Mitch Lewis was having one of the all-time mares. And then he got knocked out, which looked really bad. Hopefully he hasn't done his knee as well.
It was good to see Mitch Lewis back out there. Like when you think if Hawthorn are going to be their grand final day. Yeah, who?
Yeah, Seamus Mitchell, Jev, had one of the all-times.
Yeah, as I was saying, it was good to see Mitch Lewis back out there. If you think what Hawks are going to look like grand final day, Mitch Lewis is their big key forward, full forward. He's a good player. First game back from injury. I just like the way he competed. Like it was a tough day for him, but you saw him competing. But that head knock in the knee done was just ugly.
You know who's Dylan Moore had an all-timer. He's
a stud.
I would go to war. Like I would, if I was in the trenches, I want Dylan Moore next to me.
Did I say, you know, he's got that bung eye and he's always got tape on his eye?
Yeah.
I saw him at a cafe in Hawthorn at 11 a.m. on a fucking Thursday. He had a patch there, a cut there with tape over it. He had a black eye. This eye was buggered as well. I'm like, you are just a warrior, man. Like a fucking warrior.
That's how he learned to knock on doors because his hands are always full. He'd bring all the great. He'd just start banging on his head.
You go down 5 goals to Geelong at GMHBA, you're just not coming back. They just dominate that ground. The big boys, they just get physical. And then it's good to see it's good to see their forwards. I know we always talk about, so when they beat Carlton early in the year, they were talking about how Grime Myers and Brad Close and stuff were getting up the ground and then torching you on the way back. But yesterday, you noticed their forwards were close to goal and they were getting it in deep with a lot of guys there getting dangerous. So Close and Cameron looked like they didn't move much further than, out of the 50. So good to see. They've absolutely found one with Sam DeConning in the ruck. You got to give Chris Scott a bit of love for his coaching. So to stop the Tom Stewart's tag, they've moved into the mid, but he's like a defensive midfielder, so he rolls back and helps, but he doesn't have the tag. They've moved DeConning into the ruck, and they've just let Jez Cameron be a full forward. Just 3 slight changes have got them back to their winning ways. They have found one in Sam DeConning in the ruck there.
Yeah, 100%. Just keep him there.
Yeah, for sure.
Just let him work into his size.
If your ruckman's walking off the ground with 2 goals and 20 touches, whether he wins the ruck or not, and then you got Blitzarves in the side as well, who's walked off with 1 goal, 16 touches, it's a lot more. Even if they're not winning the direct hit out, they're good around the ground. They're versatile. They can kick a goal. They can get back. Like they're not just the big lumpy lad.
So what else do you reckon they need to do? So where are they currently? So they're 5th. What do you have to do to get Gary Rowan playing at his best? He has every fucking tool.
He does, doesn't he?
When he leads, I know you hate him because you reckon he shirks some finals, which is fair. But when he comes out on a lead, when he decides to sprint, you're not keeping up with him. He's actually got a beautiful set shot.
Yeah.
He can sit on people's heads. Like, what do you need to do? Like, I know he came on as a sub the other week, and maybe that's what he had to get to just to find a little bit of form. But fuck, he can do it all. It must be so frustrating. He must do some things at training that you're like, fuck.
He's sort of like a number 2, 3 wide receiver in the NFL where you just got to be ready for your moment sort of thing. Like you're out there, the quarterback's got to get you the ball and you're running routes all day. But like, yeah, as you said, he's got the traits. He's a beautiful kick. He can take a mark. He's quick. He can lay a tackle, all that stuff. Just in that side, he's not good enough to get up into the midfield or probably fit enough, but then he's behind Jez Cameron, Stengel and Hawk in the forward line. Like he's sort of he's just a tweener. Their back line sorted, but he has these moments like, he's a premiership player for the Cats. You got to get around him. I just hate it. I loved him at the Swans. There was too many big games. As soon as we lost a final, you look at the stats and it was 3 touches, 0 impact sort of thing. So anyway, any odds for this game, Darce?
Yeah, so Jeremy Cameron for 4 goals was $5.75.
Brad Close for 4.
Brad Close He was $23.
Ooh, that's nice.
Shannon Neal, the Cowboy Neal. God, a few women in Geelong would be sore this morning after Cowboys
A
run
few.
Big Shannon Neal. $2.45 for Big Cowboy.
Sam DeConning for 2.
Sam.
Dylan Moore for 2.
You can't even get Sam for 1.
Really?
No, you can't get Sam to go. Who do you want for 1?
Dylan Moore 2. Gary Rowan 2.
Dylan Moore 230. Gary Rowan was $2.55.
2 phones and Mitch Lewis.
Marbiol $1.89. Mitch Lewis $1.93. So
Not
pretty
bad.
standard.
And then nothing really touches. Tom Stewart back to 25. Dylan Moore 25. Warple 25.
That was a good physical game by Tom Stewart.
Also, John
$2.
Newcomb 15 touches, Darce. Imagine the only leg in the 100K that lost was Newcomb 20 touches. And Max Holmes, did he even get it? Yeah, he only had 17 as well. Like, fuck.
Geelong games are weird though.
Yeah.
They're just fucking in like this shoebox.
Where are the touches though? Like, I don't get it. Like, no one's just because Stewart's the most on 26, you think there'd be like 30 players in the 20s. Like, there's that many players in teens and
it's like
singles.
the games go for the same time, and then you got some games cunts having like 30, and like you're like, what's happening?
The Hawks have Watson 9, Chol 8, Bruce 7, Lewis 7, and Morrison 7, Weddle 7, Frost 4. They've got 7 players with single figure touches. Like, where are the touches going? Anyway.
I don't know. But Hawks were fun. Geelong, don't want to verse them in a grand final.
All right, let's get to the main event. The Giants dog walk the Blues by 12 points after a hell of a start. I'm just going to let you cook here because I've got some shit to say as well. Go for it, Das.
I went to bed at quarter time, Jeff. Good win by the Blues. Jeez, we were cooking with gas. We were cooking it all. We were cooking the lobster. We were cooking the salami. Everything was happening. And then I've got no idea. This was so bizarre. We were talking in one of our group chats, and it's like I've never been like so. It's like, all right, we're actually a team. We're scary. We're putting 8 goals on. And then they come back and you're like, all right, hopefully we can then come back the other way. And they just kept going. So you cannot have a 70-point swing in an AFL game. The only positive I can put on this, Jev, is that say you look at, I think the Pies at back end of last year, they lost 3 of their last 4. And it's like, all right, we move on. Then we come into finals. You're looking fresh. But it's amazing when you have a game like this that it's like, why can't we stop the bleeding? You've got one corky from Jacob Wiedering. How come other people can't stand up? And how come automatically we went to shit? And then all the entries came in. Like, you look at the first quarter, guys are winning just every single one-on-one. The ball's coming in, and it looks like you're playing a video game. And you're like, what the fuck's happening? And then everything got flipped on its head so fast. But the only positive I can see in this is, yes, you lost on the road. GWS, like, they had to win this game. And hopefully you look at this and you look at the tape, you're like, all right, this never happens again.
Yeah.
We've got 4 to 6 more games to the end of the year. These are the looks that we don't want to have in the side. This never, ever happens again. Now, also, Jev, I want to have a little roast. What does Orazio Fantasia have on Michael Voss, Jev? I honestly want to know. Is it nudes? Is it his social security number? How the fuck he keeps getting a game is beyond me. He's less craftier than an 1800s medieval swordsman, Jev. I can tell you what, he's an absolute liability. He was cramping in the second quarter. Razzle dazzle, more like sparklers and sprinkles. I'm telling you, that is his nickname from now on. How the fuck I thought Matt Owens has been pretty good this year. He's the sub.
Yeah.
What is Razzle dazzle doing?
I like Matt Owens. He is a dog out in the field.
What is Razzle dazzle doing?
I don't know how that happened.
Sparklers and sprinkles, Jev. That's his nickname. For the life of me, Paddy Cripps I thought was awesome all night. Sam Walsh cracked the shits again because he couldn't get a kick. Body language was bad. Elijah Hewitt couldn't get it. Also, Ollie Hollands, I've been saying it for weeks. He's out of the side.
Yep.
Peaky says in our Carlton chat, have you ever seen a slower 60-kilo person?
He's built like he could run that fast, and he's as slow as a wet.
How good is that? But it's true. And he gets pushed off the ball way too easy. I thought Cowan has a crack. Harry Mackay started early and started really well. And Charlie just genuinely had a blip game where it's just like he got blanketed and just couldn't get near it. So, look, it is what it is. Jacob Wiedering won't be able to move for a month. Have you seen do you ever watch Ace Ventura?
Yeah.
You get to see the spears thrown in his quads. That's Jacob Wiedering when he gets a corky.
That many corkies. So I saw this game differently, Das. So at quarter time, it was 8 goals to 3 goals, and everyone was like, wowee, did you just see that from the Blues? How powerful was that from the Blues? And it was, but there was that Jesse Hogan mark that was a mark that he didn't get the set shot. Remember, he marked it. So then that wasn't paid, and then it went straight to the other end for the goal. There was that one where Toby had a one-on-one with Nick Newman, and credit to Nick Newman, he defended it really well, but all-Australian Toby last year just used to mop that up, goal, bang. And then there was one right at the end of the quarter where the Giants were going inside 50. They had numbers everywhere, and they butchered it a bit, and it went to the other end goal again, and you're just like, fuck, Zach Williams is just finishing everything, and the Giants can't kick goal. But watching the game, I thought it should have been 5 goals to 5 goals at quarter time, not 3 goals to 8 goals. I thought the Giants, like when they played the Swans, the Giants played well. Just it was like a roulette spin. Giants were red, Carlton were black, and it went 5 black in a row. Like Carlton just kicked the goals, and they were finishing, and you're like, you can't. Finishing goals is a skill. So, like, Zach Williams gets his chances and he finishes them. So, you've got to give him credit. But after that, I just love the Giants. And this is the Giants we all thought we were seeing this year. They didn't panic. They didn't worry about it. They probably knew at quarter time the numbers were on their side. Just they had to just tweak 1 or 2 things. And then they just bullied the Blues. They did. If it wasn't for Pat Cripps, they probably would have won by nearly 10 goals. Like, he kept them in it. Especially that second goal he kicked in that second quarter where he got on the end, he took a couple of bounces kick. That was a sick goal. But and he started giving blokes sprays. Like, come on. But the Giants just went to work, and they looked better on the midfield. So is Stephen Coniglio the most underrated mid in the game? How good was he? And then Tom Green was fucking awesome, and I said he would be because of how bad he was against the Blues last time at Marvel. He went to work. Finn Callaghan went to work. How shifty is he starting to look? Cogs went to work. Whitfield went to work. Kieran Briggs just bullied Tom DeConning. He just said, I'm standing under every footy. You can try and jump around me, but I'm too big and strong for you. Gave him a bath. And then all these role players just got up. And then Jesse Hogan's mitts were that sticky, weren't they? He was marking or looking like he was going to mark everything.
Yeah, I agree. So we said this is the fastest Finn Callaghan had looked since that Brisbane game where they torched them. Cottrell's first game back got absolutely ran to the cleaners with Whitfield. He looked like he was out of depth. Players looked like they were slipping around a little bit. Yeah. Brent Daniels, we didn't have an answer for. He could have had a career. Like, he had 29 and 3 points. He could have easily kicked a couple more goals, missed a couple of bunnies. As you did mention, Tom Green in the middle. And look, at the start of the year, if you said that we were going to split games with the Giants, we win one, they win one, you probably take that and move on. So, look, I definitely don't think it's the end of the world. The fact that we're still able to come back and kick, 5 goals to 1 in the last quarter, it was just a fucking bizarre game. Like, teams going almost asleep for these large quantities of the game where you're not able to stop the bleeding. Like, how much better of a game would have been, say we lost by 2 goals, if it was within an 8-point margin almost the whole game, rather than it being 30 points one way, 40 points the other. So it was bizarre, but they definitely watched the tape from when we ran over the top of them in the second half. They're like, this isn't happening again. Yeah. Run, pressure, just keep going. And I think, from the start, as you said, they didn't panic and they're like, fuck it, we're just going to go. Yeah. Our boys looked like that we'd won it in the first quarter and were very happy with themselves.
Got to give some love to Jack Buckley. The job he did on Charlie Curnow was impressive. Like that, he hasn't been kept like that in a long time. No. He was fucking impressive. And then that first game of Fonte, geez, he had some tricks, didn't he?
He's sparky, isn't he? Him and that, is it Darcy Jones?
Darcy Jones, Harvey Thomas, and then Isaac Cumming was really good. He's walked off the ground with 2 goals, 19 touches. So how weird is it when Carlton lose like that? You look at the Blues role players and you go, geez, you're average. Geez, you're... As soon as it happened against the Swans game as well, they held Walsh, they kept Curnow quiet, and Wiedering got injured. But then you watch the role players, and then after quarter time, you watch Zach Williams stop playing as a deep forward, and he was back, or he was around the ball, and you're like, he shit himself twice, and he didn't defend once, and you're like, oh, you are a fraud, like a suspect. There was a couple more. You're like, who else was a bit fraudish? Like,
Fogarty didn't have the game. I thought Elijah Hollins was the one for me. You only obviously Ollie, I went through him before, but Elijah Hollins has been a little bit more of a steadier for us.
Yeah.
Just wasn't able to get going. Jordan Boyd's mainly doing a bit more of a job on Toby Green, which is fine, but just no real impact or run from the back end.
And Adam Sard, like no impact on the game.
As soon as Wiedering went off, it was just like, what are we doing? But for his ability to come back on, when the amount of spots that he gets to, where it's just like, why can't other defenders in our team do that? Or when it is a one-on-one, how easily does he just move blokes out? He's a fucking gun. But same thing, Chincotta couldn't get on the scoreboard, only the 9 touches. Kemp had a bit of a dirty night, old Kempy.
He got a bit of a bath, didn't he?
He tried.
But this is the Giants we've been waiting for. Mackay was really good. This was just it felt like a final. Even in the first quarter when the Blues were putting that fucking power on, it's like just how hard and physical and fast the game was moving. Like, this felt like a final. So great game of footy. Blues, it's probably a loss they needed. Giants, a fucking win they needed. Have you got some odds for us?
Yeah, I do. I don't know if it's my computer being slow. So who do we got? Let's go some goal skis. So for 5, Jesse Hogan was 11. Harry Mackay was 15.
3.
Zach Williams was 8.25.
It's nice. And then we've got a couple of 2s here.
Kennedy, he's actually not a bad set shot. 8.50 for 2.
Isaac Cumming and Callan Ward and Pat Cripps.
Callan Ward, 8.75.
That's nice.
Paddy Cripps was 5.50. Isaac Cumming was $18 for 2.
Yeah, that's nice. And then touches.
Let's go. Talk to me.
Tom Green, 30. Pat Cripps, 30.
Tom Green, $1.65. Paddy Cripps, $2.10 for 30.
Cal Ward, Whitfield, 30.
Whitfield, $2.08. Cal Ward, $15. Fuck, he's had a good day.
Yeah, sure has. And then Binger, Canelio, 25, and that's about it.
Cogs is only $1.65. Where's Binger Daniels? $7.75. He's a fucking good player, Jeff.
0 goes 3, 29. He had the chance to have an all-timer. He stands out. He's a good player. Yeah, so it's as you said, it's probably a loss. The Blues, you're not going to complain about this loss. It's going to go on tape. You're going to see what you did wrong. The role players are going to get a wake-up call. It's the sort of one you need, but it wasn't.
That's the thing. It's only good if you guys learn from it. If it goes out and it keeps happening, well, it's a bad loss. We're not a good side.
Yeah. So if one thing I notice, the Giants half-backers and wingers, so like if you're on a wing looking for an inside 50 kick, they were like flooding that fat side, like always open. They always had guys to like, if they could get the kick over there, take it on. I wonder if that's saying like Carlton defend in a real straight line maybe and teams are finding out you can go around them.
I want to know how much of a difference. So say you played a 7-game series there in that conditions.
Yeah.
And then you played a 7-game series at the MCG. How much of a difference does that actually make for sides when you verse them? I genuinely want to know.
Yeah. All right, final game. Freo were just too good for Richmond. Neither of us saw much of this game because we were watching the other one. I saw part of the second quarter and I watched the end of the last quarter. Basically what I was hearing from Schofield and Pavlich was Freo were a bit sloppy, a bit cute. Their ball use was average, but they were just too overpowering for Richmond. Our man, Big Pizza Hut, Josh Treacy's kicked 5. Shai Bolton's kicked 4 goals, 3. That's a big day, 4 goals, 3. He was given I can't remember who was on, but he was giving him a bath. And, I think Freo are going to finish top 4, Darce. I think they're really good and they put a lot of talent on the park.
So we have to I think because we got a few Freo listeners, Jeff, so we actually have to talk about him for a little bit. I was thinking about this before I went to bed last night. I'm like, we have to give him a bit of credence. I feel like we gloss over. So Pizza Hut, Josh Treacy is the new heavy hitter in the AFL. I went back and watched the mini before. He's fucking good to watch.
Yeah, he's a good player.
He runs through. He tries to body people. Yep. Like run through people, chase down, tackle. He's actually a good set shot. He kicked 5 straight. I'm not sure if he had any others where he passed them off or didn't make the distance because I didn't watch the full game. But he's a massive guy. Yeah. He's fucking good. Like, I feel I can get around him. He's only, he's 195 centimeters. He's 21.
He's a big dude. Big Pizza Hut.
He's fucking good.
He's kicked a goal every game this year. Yeah, he can play. Tell you what, I'm just looking now. There would not be a better backline in the comp than Brennan Cox, who came back last night.
You said this last year.
Yeah.
You said this last year.
Brennan Cox, Luke Ryan, Alex Pearce, and then this Josh Draper kid who beat the Swans single-handedly last week. So there's Luke Ryan can play on anyone. Brendan Cox is a marking machine. Alex Pearce plays on the number 1 key. Jordan Clark off the half back there. And this Josh Draper kid, I think that would have to be the best 4-5 backline in the comp. Probably only Essendon have the names to compete with, Mackay, Ridley, and then Laverty is the third tall. That is an impressive backline. And then we love Treacy. We like a miss. Then Luke Jackson when he plays forward. They've got Switter. And then their midfield with Darcy, Sarong, Hayden Young, Andrew Brayshaw is as good as any midfield in the comp. They put the talent out in the park. You cannot deny that.
Sam Darcy, it said Sean Darcy went off injured.
Yeah, I think he had a bit of I can't remember. I sort of heard it, but geez, they looked better when it was just Luke Jackson being the number 1 ruck.
You have to explore that more. Like Sean Darcy, he's a lump of a lad. The only other way that you would play him is if who they verse the other, it's against a Grundy. Or you've got another one of those individual, maybe like GWS, if you got a Kieran Briggs, then you've got that bigger guy to wear him down, and then you play Luke Jackson in there for a little bit more flair. But there's not that many brute ruckmans, are there? I feel you don't need to play him every single week. But then, as you said, Jeff, O'Meara's definitely taken a step back, but happy to play a role. Switter just does his job every week. Michael Walters, I feel he's done. He's only coming out every couple of weeks. Was this his first game back off the hammy?
Yeah. I remember he dropped this mark in the last quarter that was so strange. If Freo support or people that watch the game will know the one I'm talking about. There was no one near him and he jumped, then landed, then it went over his head. I think he lost it in the lights or something. It was so strange.
Can't remember who was talking about it. So Lee Montagna does something to do with recruiting with Fremantle or whatever. And they were going over their last 4 or 5 years and how well they've actually recruited, in these drafts, like Brayshaw, Treacy,
Sarong.
They got Young.
Yeah.
They're actually really happy. And I can't remember, they got this guy from Victoria last year. Maybe where's number 30 or 20, Chapman or something. He's meant to be, I don't think he's played a game this year, but he's meant to be absolutely lightning. So I reckon they'd have a couple of good guys in the twos as well. But this looks like a team, Jev. They could attract 1 or 2 really good more players. As you said, with 5 coming out, do they throw the kitchen sink at Chad Warner now? You guys have pretty much signed everyone else. If you guys sign Chad, I'm convinced you're like the Rams and you've just got a cash book that you just kicking the can down the road.
The only thing I'm thinking about is I listened to that Caleb Sarong, Tommy Sheridan, Oz American Aces.
That was a good one.
Great pod. Sarong sounds like the most mature superstar going around. He just sounds like he can handle the lights. So just I don't know Sarong, but just listening to him, it sounds like they're all going to take pay cuts to keep this core together. So why would they bring Chad in at 1.6 a year when that money can go to Sarong, Brayshaw, Jackson, Ryan, Cox, Pearce, Draper, Amiss, Treacy? Why would they just bring the one? I know how good Chad Warner is, but how much 1.6?
How much do you reckon you guys can offer him?
Probably 1. I reckon.
So what if they get
Heaney and Mills are on their big contracts right now? I reckon they're going to take pay cuts so Errol and Chad can get their $1 million years.
Well, imagine maybe in the background Warner does eventually want to come home. What if they're like, fuck it, we can give you 1.1 and then we use the rest of the money just to try and get someone else, and they're like, fuck it, hey, we're happy to get you in and pay a little bit more because we know if you win a premiership and you get multiple premierships, you get success outside of football forever.
Yeah.
You look at all the commentary teams, I know this is a weird example, but they're all Hawthorn players and they're all Brisbane players because they've all won flags. Like, you're not getting any teams that have been shit. Where there is success, you're going to get paid for the rest of your life. Especially because yeah, go.
And I hear from Freo a lot. Anything I ever hear from Freo is they talk about the first. That's what their thing is, the first. Let's be the first to win a premiership at Freo. That is actually awesome. It's like, if you are the first to ever win the flag at Freo, you are going to be Fremantle legends forever. For fucking ever. Like,
can you imagine any of those guys starting a business after?
Yeah.
Caleb Sarong, you're a car salesman. Fuck, whatever. Like,
you're the first. Forever. The fucking so I love it. It excites me. They're fucking good. The Dockers. I reckon it's going to be Carlton, Freo, MCG first final, second versus third.
That's if we fucking make it to second.
You'll make it to second. You'll be fine. Carlton, Freo. Imagine you accidentally slipped to third. Freo finished second. You got to go over to Optus Stadium first final.
I know.
And then they win, and they got their prelim at Optus Stadium.
See, it's amazing how quick things flip, and I don't think people understand how big every game is.
Yeah, so Freo on 4, they're only 2 points behind Carlton. If you drop one more, so have they had a draw or have Carlton had a draw?
No, we haven't had a draw. They had a draw.
So they're 2 points. So if you drop one more by accident and they win one, they just jump you from points wise.
Scary. Quick odds for this because then you've got to go. Josh Treacy for 5 goals. The Pizza Hut, $10.50. Shy Bolton could have had a career day. So he was $15 for 4, Jev. For 5 goals, if he'd kicked one more, was paying 51.
Oh, that would have been nice.
The Boltons would have been eating very well
and
this week.
And he wanted his 5th. Ryan Mansell floated back in the hole and just got in his leading lane. He gave him a spray. Mansell went back, kicked the goal, and Shy was still spraying him.
Yeah, Mansell wouldn't give a fuck. He's like Matt Owies. He just go and fucking start celebrating. Michael Frederick, he was $2.80. Michael Walters. Could you even get Michael Walters?
And then disposals. Brayshaw, 35. Sarong's back on the 25 list, thank God.
Brayshaw, 35.
I actually won a little $3.50 multi on this. Only had 10 on it, but won $35.
$4.90.
Few disposals into Tracy to kick 2.
Can we tell everyone? So last night before we go, me and Jev went to put on $1.50 multi each to win fucking like $3,000 or whatever.
No, so
Jev had the Carlton GWS legs all ticked, and I'm not sure if you didn't win the second legs, but your Carlton GWS multi was paying $67 or something.
Yeah, so I'm like, I'm booking flights to Bali. I'm like, I'll try and turn $5 into 2,000 to get me and the missus to Bali. So I needed a 400 to 1 multi. I went Cripps 2, Cornelio 1, Harvey Thomas 1, and Blake Acres 1. That all hit. That was 65 to 1. Then I had Tim Taranto 1. He kicked it. I had Switowski 1. He kicked it. And then Luke Jackson to kick 2. He didn't kick any. That was 400 to 1. Fuck. And I didn't even take the Carl one by itself. I multi into the thing. So Taranto kicked a goal on the 4th quarter siren. Like, he kicked it. The siren went while I was in the air and it went through, and it was like, if you had Taranto anytime, and it got him to his 25th touch, Taranto goal and 25. He just got everyone paid, basically. He's a good man now, man, Timmy.
He's a good man. So let's quickly preview their other games in 30 seconds. Melbourne, West Coast. Let's hope that...
West Coast cover the line. They're going to play well. And if they don't, they reckon Simpson's getting fired. So you will know today if Simo has the players or not. Because if they mail it in, he's getting fired.
Yeah, right.
So, apparently, if they mail in, he's getting fired. So you'll find out. They'll either play for him and they'll win by a point. And you'll go, nah, he's going nowhere. Waterman will kick 5, or they'll mail it in, they'll lose by 100.
Jev, tell me these ins for St Kilda that scare you. Dougal Howard, Ryan Burns, Matthias Philippou, Tim Embry, Ben Patton.
None. I think the Swans are going to win by 70 points, and I'm ready for a roasting if they don't, or if St Kilda win head-to-head. But then St Kilda are not putting enough talent on the park, Das, to beat the Swans today.
And then Brisbane, Adelaide.
I think the Lions win, but I think this will be a good game. I got one for you, Das.
Yep.
I reckon the Saints are going to just fold back and defend all game. Teo, I think, are going to kick goals. Halfbacks and mids for the Swans. Blakey, look for Ollie Florent. Look for Rowbottom. Look for Jake Lloyd. Look for a couple of Braden Campbell. Like, if I'm going to go Braden Campbell 1, Nick Blakey 1, Ollie Florent 1, anytime.
I like this a lot.
I reckon they're just going to be peeling back, and it's going to be we're going to kick goals from outside 50. And I'm loving Heaney to kick 2 or 3 today.
More forward, you reckon?
Yep.
I'm getting on Waterman for every single goal market.
Yeah, perfect. We love the big mug.
We love the Waterman. All right. I'll see you in a couple of hours. Enjoy the footy. All right, we are back here on the Sunday roast, fresh off the press. So, Jev, the Swans have just lost to the Saints. If you've been following the podcast for a while, or whether you're new, if you don't know, Jev and the Saints supporters have had a feud for a long, long time. Jev, you head out to Marvel. You go see the Showtime Swans, the hottest ticket in town, the must-watch. You've compared them to seeing Michael Jordan and the Prime Bulls when they're in town. You said 70 plus just before, so if you listen to the pod, that will be pretty much the last thing that you heard. So Papley kicks a buzzer beater, Jev, right on the half. Then the Saints kick 9 out of the last 12 goals in the second half. Heaney is off to the tribunal with a king hit. Goulden was subbed off at three-quarter time with no impact in the last. The accountant, Cal Wilkie, was playing like a prime Darren Glass. The mythical one, Jev, Mateus Philippou taking the absolute piss. 26 touches, 10 score involvements, 12 touches and 5 score involvements, and a goal in the last. And to top it off, Jev, look, I know that we hate bashing players, but it is the Sunday roast, Jev. Logan McDonald missed a goal after the siren against Freo. The Swans said, don't worry, mate, we love you. Here's a 5-year contract, probably $800,000 plus a year. And how does he repay the team, Jev? Duffing it again. What was he doing at training on the weekend, Jev? Counting his cash, kissing babies, signing titties, because I know what he wasn't doing, Jev. He wasn't practicing his goal kicking because he was absolutely in the prime spot to win you guys over, to win the game, and he's absolutely dogged it again. I cannot believe it. The Saints have been crawling at the bottom of the barrel for weeks now. For weeks. And the Showtime Swans roll up and absolutely dog it. Jev, what are your thoughts on the game? Because we have a lot to get through. We got the mailbag. Your initial reaction, you've just walked in. How are you feeling?
Fucking hell. For fuck's sake. Oh my God. We've kicked 3 goals 11 in the fucking second half. We've hit the post 4 times. Oh my God. Being there was just fucked. I got to give credit to the Saints. They played great. Their ball movement was good. I have to give some love to Mateus Philippou, the mythical one. He was fucking awesome. I think about this all the time. So just say, like, even at local footy clubs, if you want to be a midfielder, are you happy to be in the 2s as a midfielder if you're not good enough to be in the 1s? Or would you rather play at half forward, not in your best position, and then if there's an injury in the midfield, you might get in, or you're in the 2s, like honing your craft as a mid? Matthias has been in the 2s and he's come in and he's got to play at every single centre bounce and he's just been a mid all day and he was fucking awesome. And I'm his harshest critic and I was just being there. I'm like, he is playing great. He should have kicked – what did he kick? 1 goal. He should have kicked the second. He missed it. And just fuck me. The fucking Swans. Oh, you can't hit the post 4 times. Kick 3 goals 11 in the second half. I have about 7 videos on my phone of goals right in front of me that I was going to post on our Insta. Like Papley's out in the full in the last quarter. That was right in front of me. I'm like, I'll post this. This will go viral. And he's kicked out in the full, so it's just saved in my phone. Oh, we just aren't good enough. We aren't actually defending. I don't think we're flag favourites anymore. I think Freo are flag favourites, Das. I think Freo are the best team in the competition. We aren't defending anymore. So it's like we're zoning off, but eventually you got to hunt the turnover. We let teams get the ball in front of centre-half back. I can't remember what Kingy calls it, but between the centre circle and the arc, that sort of centre-half back
defensive
range,
back.
the defensive back, we're letting teams kick into there right in the middle of the ground, and then we're trying to turn it over. And the Saints were taking it to that point and then getting out the back and kicking goals on us all day. They were kicking goals. We aren't defending anymore. Errol kicked it to the Saints about 15 fucking times. He was the Saints' best player. He just kept kicking it to him. Brodie Grundy looks tired. Isaac was all right. He kicked 2 in the quarter. Had his moments. He was okay. Chad was okay. I don't know. We just look off. I don't think we're flag favourites anymore. I don't actually think we're that good anymore.
Let's go down. Let's have a look at some of your other players. So Taylor Adams, 8 touches. What was
Came
he?
on as the sub. 8 touches in a quarter is pretty good.
Wixie, where did you rate his game?
He was fucking deplorable. Shit house. Fucking horrible.
How about the Amati party?
He hasn't had a kick since he kicked 9 on fucking Mark Keane. He has not had a kick. That one he missed in the last quarter to basically seal the game. That is unmissable, Darcy.
Unmissable, Jev.
So that one was right in front of me as well. He just kicked it and just put his hand on his head like, oh, you can't miss that. Who else?
All right, so let's have a look. Logan McDonald, Jev.
Oh, fuck. I had him for 5 and 6. He's kicked 2 in the first quarter. He played exactly how I thought he was going to play. Then he was like up on the wing and stuff. Like, I don't know. I get as a team structure and a team defense, but we watched the Hawks at Gather Round, and no matter what the Pies were doing, Blake Hardwick just stood out the back inside the defensive 50 and just made defenders nervous. That's what I want to see from Logan or Amati. They get up to do the team defense and they're in front of the centre as full forwards. I want to see a bloke staying home, putting pressure on. Like if we get a quick kick, handball receive, all of a sudden you're kicking into an inside 50 where there's a bloke one-on-one. I have fucking Logan up the ground, then he's missing goals. Piss me off.
All right, so I've got one for you, Jev. So you're the team, you're the first. Everyone's been talking about the double tag. So who are we going to go to? And the Swans were the ones to do it against the Giants the other week.
Yeah.
Right. So what do you reckon would the go? Because watching on TV, and we even said on the pod last week, I found a leg. I only needed Jack Steele for 20 touches at about $1.29. He's averaging 29 his last 5 against the Swans. Don't get beaten by what you know. And on TV, Sinclair, he had 28. Steele had 28. Mateus Philippou had 1 goal, 26 touches. They're in the middle, and those guys, and Wangani Malira had 28. They stuck out like dog's balls. I thought they all played unbelievable, especially Sinclair in that last little bit trying to surge the ball forward. Why didn't one person go to them?
Well, I couldn't notice as much on the ground as maybe it stood out on TV. Did Sam Wicks try and go to Nasai Wangani Malira?
I don't know.
So if he did, he didn't do a good job. And then did James Jordan try and go to Jack Sinclair? Obviously not.
It didn't look like it.
Obviously not. And then I thought Jack Steele and Heaney stood on each other. So if Steele's going to walk off with 28 and Heaney's going to work off with 2 goals and 24, I can cop that one. I thought James Jordan should have gone to Jack Sinclair, and I thought Wicks was standing on Wangani Malira, but obviously not.
At the end, watching, I genuinely thought that Heaney was going to win the game. He was in some really good spots. But let's go the other way before we get into the mailbag. Let's give some love for the Saints fans that are listening. Cal Wilkie, Jev, what do you think of his game?
Yeah, so last quarter, he's standing on Isaac Heaney, one-on-one top of the square.
That was a massive
I've got
win.
my camera on. I'm like, oh my God. Heaney's going to kick the goal and win the Brownlow. He's going to kick the winner, win the Brownlow, then and there. 3 goals, 25 touches. And Wilkie just bodied him, marked the ball. That's your All-Australian there. Like, he's your All-Australian centre back. I'm like, nah. You know, you see the other, I'm like, Heaney's about to take a mark on the All-Australian centre full back, kick the game winner, and I am going to be on. But Wilkie was too good. All credit to him. He was great. I cannot say a bad word about him.
Next, let's go through again. Just Mateus Philippou, just a couple of words for him.
Yeah, he was fantastic. He looks like he's got a confidence back. He's a centre bounce player. Good on him.
What do you think? He looked a bit more poised. He held on to it, wasn't blazing
and a
away.
bit tougher. He looked bigger for one, and he looked tougher. And that's where he's got to play, in the midfield. Good on him.
So what we've been saying, so Marshall up forward.
Yeah. Yeah, he was good. He's a good player. I made that video about Marshall kicking a goal. He didn't kick one that night. He's kicked 2 and 3 or whatever since, or 3 and 2 the last 2. So good on him.
And what do you think about Sinclair's game, actually watching from halfback?
Nah, I'm not going to lie. I do watch the game watching Swans players a lot, so I didn't notice him too much. But I noticed in the last quarter when he got the ball, he had some big moments. And then the butcher's dog, Jackie what's his name? Jack Higgins. He was great. You give him a sniff in the forward line, he doesn't miss.
100%. I've been seeing him his whole junior career.
Just watching.
What do you think about Liam Henry's game? Because
he was good.
In that round 2 or round 3 game when they versed the Pies right before he got injured, he dominated and looked a lot silkier. It looked like he let up at the ball really well and then just created that other option. And it also looked like Josh Battle also won some good defensive stops as well.
Yeah, he was good. They were just really good, the Saints. I thought what I noticed is teams are getting more numbers around the ball against the Swans. So don't let Chad break lines. Like, don't let him bursting out of stoppages. Don't let Errol have space. Get more numbers around the ball because our talent on the outside actually isn't good enough. So if you've got Wilkie Battle, Dougal Howard versus McDonald, Amadi, McLean, you go, righto, they might kick 4 goals. Let's go 50-50 with them, which, and then it's like just stop their superstars being superstars. And that's what they did. I thought the Saints had a lot of numbers around the ball. They didn't let Chad break lines. They didn't let Errol dominate after halftime. They made it hard for Isaac. And it was like, righto, Amadi, McLean, Wicks, all these guys, can you beat us? And we couldn't do it. Ross Lyon did a good job.
Watching on TV, I initially said that's probably game of the year because sometimes BT, I'm usually his biggest fan, but sometimes he annoys me. I thought from the start of the third quarter, once the Saints fans started to get going, he was commentating like it was the final 2 minutes for the entire quarter, and it was so aesthetically pleasing to watch. The pressure was up. Like, the skill level wasn't bad. It was because the pressure was up so much. And how unlucky Rowan Marshall, that he should have sealed the game when that ball went inside 50 and it went at right angles, and then you guys got it back and went back up the other end, if you remember that.
Yeah, I remember, yeah.
That whole entire game was just fucking awesome. Isaac Heaney just messaged us as well before, Jev. I'm not sure if you saw.
What did he say?
About his goal kicking, and then he's like, you boys reckon I get off?
Oh, fuck. He knows how much money I've got on him for the Brown. I actually haven't had a good look at the...
I think Thingo slipped. It looked like he slipped over and he turned around like whether you'd smack him in the chest, and it looked like he got him in the nose. But he's like, you reckon I'm in trouble or what?
He's like, hit him nice. Reckon I'm in trouble or what? Surely not. I wouldn't have thought so. Not your fault. He slipped. You'll get off. I think it was one of those ones where he's hit the schnoz, so you've got a blood nose, but there's no forceful. It's not like he's put him in concussion protocol or anything.
Nah. I don't reckon. All right, so Jev, we're going to go through a little bit of the mailbag. Let's have a look.
Requests and stuff as well you might need to look at. You fucking go. I'm going to get off the Insta. Go for
Cam
it.
Peterson, beat the flag favourites and the umpires. Give us the flag now. That's a good one. Chris Jezza, sucked in. Ross Lyon, outswan the Swannies. That's a good one. Next one, who do we got? Calm the Dons by Oscar. So, Jev, he wants to give that to you. Connor O'Brien, big fan of the show. Jev said we'll see you grand final day, but I don't know. After being the Gold Coast 2.0, playing away in Melbourne, geez, Jev, you got to win the big ones in Melbourne. Jessie Burke says, I feel your pain. So she's obviously a Swan supporter. Jacko.
Just say it. I saw this one.
Suck my ass, Jev, you stupid cunt. That's a funny one.
Fuck you, Jacko. Suck my ass, you stupid cunt, you reckon?
Matt Boland sucks shit. Dougal Howard is a pyramid player. The wheels falling off is a good one. There's a couple of funny ass ones down here. Sydney can't get it done in the close ones. Wait till the baggers get a hold of them in the grand final by Alex. So who knows? We'll see about that.
I agree and disagree with that one.
So Jazz Jevs, he's gone. When is he paying his debts about those fucking mighties? So you've got a couple of guys from work. Bally, lick my nuts, Jevy. This one from Sputter. This is a very good one. Will Jev get a case of the Josh Jenkins syndrome and sleep with the light on this week?
Fuck's sake.
Caleb Dickens, suck a fart out of my hairy ass.
Fuck.
That's a good one. Take all the Sydney players out of the pyramid. And this is my personal favourite by Dylan Pappers. Personally, no Rowan Marshall. And he wants to tell Jev he kisses his dad on the lips. So that's a good one. Oh, Jev.
Fucking hell.
It is good. Jacko actually sent something as well in the happy Sunday, Jevy. The no time Swans, the choke time Swans. It's going to happen again. The Swans peaked in April, and then he said something else I better not say.
I'll go look at it. I'll see if I can say it.
Oh, fuck. It's good. It is good.
This is going to happen. The Swans peaked in April. Chad one was Darcy Moore again. Oh, my God.
So were you copying it after the game?
Oh, yeah. Our Insta, my personal Insta, my text messages, fucking cunts I haven't heard from all year, fucking year, just come out of the woodwork and just start ripping me.
That's
fucking
nice.
hell. Text.
So it looks like, Jev, you've got a big danger game next week.
North,
you've got the
in
North
Sydney.
Melbourne Kangaroos that are coming hot off a win.
I'm terrified. I'm fucking terrified. That we are no certainties against it. They should have beaten us last year. Remember Hayden McLean got that soft free kick?
Yep.
They outplayed us last year. Their midfield will be licking their lips against the
So
Swans.
let's have a look. So this would have put you 3 games up, and I'm shattered that the Blues lost. So we're still a couple behind. So you've got North Melbourne, then you've got Brisbane, then you have
North
the
Brisbane
Bulldogs,
at the Gabba.
which is never an easy task, even though you usually get rid of them. Then you got Port Adelaide away, which you never know. Then you got Collingwood at the SCG. Then you got the Bombers, and then you have to finish off Adelaide. Are the Swans dropping a couple now, Jeff?
Well,
Heaney's going to miss the next week.
it depends. We win today. We're 3 games clear on top with 6 weeks to go. Whatever happens after that just does not matter. We get Callum Mills back and Luke Parker back. If people forget how good Callum Mills is, if we win today, we are flag favourites with an absolute bow on it. Callum Mills gets blooded his last 6 weeks of the season. Luke Parker gets blooded his last 6 weeks of the season. We are flying. Now so how many points clear are we on top? 52 to 44. So we're 8 points clear. We're still 2 games clear. We win 1 more game for the season. We beat North next week. We basically lock up the minor premiership with Callum Mills and Luke Parker to come back. I can overreact, and I think we're not that good, but we win next week. We get Mills back in the side. We get Parker back in the side. We can afford to give Grundy a rest. We can afford to give Isaac and Chad a rest. You think Isaac might be having a rest? Maybe Errol as well. I'm not panicking that much. I just think Freo should be flag favourites. I think they're the best team in the comp, Das.
All right, so let's have one more quick look because I just like hearing this side of the Swans. So who's getting dropped next week, Jev?
Sam Wicks was horrible today.
Sam Wicks. So everyone, Wicksy's
The
going.
only problem is, and if the True Bloods boys are listening to this and some of the other Swans boys that I speak to, Sam Wicks is our Lockie Fogarty, our Cottrell. We're not here to see Sam Wicks. He's here to be putting pressure on when we don't have the ball, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I get worried about bringing Luke Parker in. I'm not saying he's got an ego, but Luke Parker isn't a fast, lay 11 inside 50 tackles, put all the pressure on in the world. Like when Richmond winning flags and it was Castagna and Higgins and Rioli and all these and Dan Butler and all these little no names just putting constant pressure on. That's what Wicks is in the side for. So him and Parker aren't like for like players. So Parker might kick 4 and win us a game by being a gun footballer, but he isn't bringing the same role as Sam Wicks. But I thought Sam Wicks was horrible today.
So Wicks is out. Taylor Adams?
Well, he started. I've liked his last couple of weeks. I don't know.
He's looking a bit slow, maybe, Jev.
Maybe he's gone. So if Wicks stays, maybe Parker comes in for Adams.
And who else? So
Matt
Milton
Roberts wasn't great today.
Matty Roberts.
We didn't have Harry
out.
Cunningham today, who would have played
Pelican.
on. Nah, he's fine. He's a key back. Like they get hot. He was fine today. Him, Tom McCartan, they stay. Lizard stays. We didn't have Cunningham today. I think maybe Jake Lloyd might be in trouble for Callum Mills.
Campbell.
He wasn't great today. He's a beautiful kick of the footy. He wasn't great. I don't know.
There's a few on the chopping block at the Swans. So,
All right, Gus, just before we finish, now that everyone's listened, I've roasted the Swans, everything. I have to give the Saints a bit of a bake. The Saints supporters a bit of a bake. They would rather this is speaking of the Saints supporter. They would rather tackle Chad Warner holding the ball than have Chad Warner. So I'm watching them 4 of them tackle Chad Warner holding the ball and cheering like, oh, here we go. We've tackled him holding the ball. Then have a player taking the game on, trying to win the game, like trying to have a crack. Chad Warner, you would never see a player that good play for St Kilda. And he's copping it from Saints supporters. I sat in the Saints members. One of our friends, TK, Tom Killer, very kind of him, gave me some level 2, row 2 tickets. I was in the best seats, but I was sitting amongst the Saints members. All the Saints members want is free kicks, and then if they don't get free kicks, they just yell at, how much is the AFL paying the Swans? How much are they paying your umpires? They were unbearable to be around. All they care about is the umpires, and fucking they are just so low self-esteem, so bang on average of a football club. They aren't winning a flag in the next 35 years. They are fucking horrible. They had a great day today, a great game plan. But all it was just stop the Swans' guns. They're never going to have the list to win a fucking premiership. They cared more about tackling Chad Warner holding the ball than actually trying to fucking get the ball and go themselves. All they did was watch the Swans get the ball and then counter off that. It was doing my head in. And the way their supporters acted and what I copped on the way out was just fuck. They were just singing the song in my ear. I don't care about that. That is funny. That is good banner. But just what their priorities are umpiring and like stopping another team's best player. It's not actually having the best player in the competition or premiership aspirations. Anyway, that's all. I just had to give that little bait because I was saying at the game that was frustrating the fuck out of me.
I don't know why. My fucking phone, my thingo's cooked it again. I screenshotted all the markets and they're not fucking coming up on my fucking phone.
So I don't know if you remember, I said Ollie Florin anytime,
yes,
Braden Campbell anytime, Nick Blakey anytime. Morgs put it on. It was 65-1. Nick Blakey got a kick to him to have a set shot and he slipped over. It went straight to the other end for a Saints goal. It would have been a 60-1 and we had 10 on it. Fucking hell. I might have some odds here. We were fucking 5 goals up for fuck's sake. What do you need?
Anyone? Jack Higgins for 3.
Nah, no idea. I didn't look at any Saints. Sorry, everyone. It would have been good odds. Jack Higgins was great. He just makes it happen. That tackle, that hole in the ball tackle he laid on Lewis Malik, and that was a great tackle. And then he just gets his chance. He makes him. He's a dangerous. So like, look at his game to Papley. We all think Papley's a premier small forward in the com. It was chalk and cheese. Higgins was so much better today. Higgins had the perfect small forward game.
The young hungry dog, Jev.
He's a butcher's dog. I absolutely love him. He's one I can't get angry about. Like, he plays his role. He's a little tip rat. He's a little pit bull, and he just got it done.
So that will do for the Saints and the Swans. So if anyone wants to tune in now, because we've got 2 other games.
What did that cunt send us on voicemail? My phone died.
Oh, he said, I'll resend it to you. The Morgs put in the village people.
What did he fucking say?
But do you want me to play it?
Is it good? I haven't listened to it.
That's all right. I'll play it.
Fuck, Jevy. You've been talking all this shit about the Saints being cheeks. But maybe if Mother's Milk was playing today, Sydney would have won. Because the Saints with Max King are no good. But the Saints without old Mother's Milk in there, different animal.
He then goes on to say that Logan McDonald should change names with Max King to Breast Milk.
Fucking hell.
So Logan McBreast Milk. So can you imagine if Max King played today? They don't win.
You reckon?
Fuck no.
I reckon they kick it to him too much. They did look different. They look dangerous.
They look like hungry. This is them last year. They banked all those wins when he wasn't playing, when he did his shoulder. Any Saints fan knows that.
I reckon we go, yeah.
Don't go signing him straight away. Don't do what you did to Logan. You're stuck with him now for a few years. Number 5, Jev.
If he kicked 5 today, it's a different story. He was okay.
But he didn't.
He didn't, no. Fucking hell.
He did not. All right, next game, Jev. We'll touch on these quickly. This game was cheeks. Melbourne and West Coast. So Melbourne absolutely torched them to start off with. Not sure if you watched any of this on the way in. Jacob Van Ruin, this is the game that Melbourne fans were absolutely screaming for. So this is what I hate with key forwards. So you do it against the shit sides, but then you need to come with that same attack on the ball every single time. He should be getting 5 to 6 or about 5 shots on goal every week. He's that sort of player. He's got that sort of talent. They've committed to him, and they've given him a few more years. Our man, Jake Waterman, he was fresh off surgeries, Jev, so we won't give him too much crap. No crap at all. Like, just the fact that he wasn't able to probably play the game that he really wanted to. Only had the 2 goals, but Oscar Allen back in the side, Jev, kicked 4 goals, 3. Even though they were getting pumped, like he got a heap of it. And I don't know why I didn't even see this. The milkshake, Jakey Melksham was back in.
Was he actually?
I got a message, Keats. I went up to the shop and I came back and Jakey Milkshake was just going bananas. So he kicked a couple of goals. Colton Tholstrup kicked a couple. It was all over early. Harley Reid didn't really get into the game too much. What do you have? 16 disposals. Melbourne supporters, I'm sorry if you're listening, but we're probably going to gloss over this pretty quickly because...
Did Neil Bullen do his knee?
I hope not. Maybe I must have missed it.
I didn't see it, but he might have done his knee. Yeah, I didn't see any of this game. I was on my way. I didn't watch. I saw our man Mudflap kick 2.
He kicked 2 nice goals.
Oscar Allen kicked 4 goals, 3. What a player. Fucking, what's his name's kicked 4-4. That's a big day. But yeah, I agree with Van Roon. Bit of a coward. Unless he's trying out to go to to go back to WA. Your man Fritsch kicked 3. Melksham. I can't believe Melksham's playing. And then Rivers has turned, he's taken Petrarca's spot in the midfield. He's had 29. Windsor, 1 goal, 25 touches. Watching Windsor played, Windsor's had that game. Darcy Jones was also very good for the Saints today. He's going to be a good player. So
you mean Darcy Wilson?
Darcy Wilson, that's it.
He doesn't get that much of it sometimes, but he seems very impactful because he runs with ball in hand. So Melbourne West Coast. Guys, 54 points. It was an absolute shellacking. And the last game,
will
Jev.
Adam Simpson get fired, do you reckon?
Yes.
You reckon he will?
Yes. Yeah. And the last game, Jev. Yep. Brisbane and the Crows. Everyone thought that the Lions were going to have this one buried with about 10 minutes to go. And then the Crows just kept putting their foot down. But this was an absolute multi-game. Now, I can tell you now.
Fucking hell.
This man is getting 4 votes. Lachie Neale was fucking unbelievable.
There's some games.
If anyone gets a chance, I know this is buried late Sunday Arvo Bachelor's game. Even just watch the KO mini. Lachie Neale, what he was doing with the ball and in clearances, he's a genuine magician, like a sorcerer at the clearance. He's the captain of his craft. He's at a centre bounce. He knows where the ball's going compared to other people. Remember the Michael Jordan doco? Remember how Rodman said that like he'd know what way the ball was turning off the backboard or the rim, and he knew exactly what way it was going, left or right. He could just read it.
Yep.
That's what Lachie Neale does at a stoppage. Hey, Oscar McInerney's hand, Jev, as well. I'm convinced it's 360. He just goes like this. Where do you want it? Tap. Almost like what Dean Cox used to do. You just go like this. Where do you want it? Where do you want it? So Lachie Neale was sensational. Dunkley also was good. Will Ashcroft, 20 touches and a goal. He got given a nice little one at the end.
Back, yeah.
Cameron should have had another day, but instead of being one of the Harley boys, he's been one of the wild hogs with Tim Allen.
Tim Allen and I've seen Lachie Neale's had 3 goals, 36 touches. This is one of those ones where it's actually stiff. The max amount of Brownlow votes you can get is 3. Like we've seen Cripps, we've seen Heaney have games, we've seen Goulden have games. Sometimes players deserve more than 3 votes, but the max amount he can get is 3. He deserves 5. He deserves the 3 and the 2, where he's only going to get 3 and he's still going to be behind the pack. But 3 goals, 36 touches. What a day.
Yeah, so does that mean we look into the coaches' votes more, or like how's the MVP voting go? Because when you get 10 votes, if you can get a possible of 10, does that give a truer reading because other players can get votes as well? As you said, like that Carlton GWS game last time, how like Cripps gets 4.
Yeah.
Like, is this a 4 vote? Like, do you give him 10 and then I don't know next, and then just a heap of guys like 2s and 3s?
Fuck, I don't know, but I'm just looking at his game. It's a big, big day.
It's a huge game.
10 clearances, 8 score involvements, 3 goals, 18 contested possessions, 36 touches. Oh, 3, yeah. Could be up there with performance of the year. I just didn't watch it. Our man Isaac Rangan's kicked 2. He's only had 16, but he's kicked 2.
He looked good. You know who else is a nightmare for teams, Jev?
Yeah.
Ben Keys.
Yeah, he's kicked 4.
He's fucked. He doesn't.
You don't have the odds for what he was for 4?
No, I fucking screenshot them all, but no, I'm so sorry, everyone.
Sorry, everyone. We apologise. Well, it's been a funny old weekend of footy. I actually think we should have a bet on Freo to win the flag. I think they're flag favourites.
No, I'm not buying into it just yet.
I think they've got, as I said earlier in the pod, I think they've got the best core backline in the league. Can you argue that? Is there a better backline than Brennan Cox, Luke Ryan, Alex Pearce, that young Josh Draper, and then their runner Jordan Clark back there?
I remember when you said that earlier, I said, like, that's probably a good call. Like, you can definitely say that that's the best defense in the league. But let's have a look. So Heaney's currently, you can't bet on him for the Brownlow. He's been taken away.
I love that he's DM'd us saying he knows how much I've got on him to win the fucking Brownlow. Oh, let me see what my cash out for him to win the Brownlow is.
No, it'd be suspended.
Yeah, you
go. I was almost thinking we just get on Jake Waterman for the Coleman.
Why?
No, he's 18-1.
What's the odds in Coleman right now?
Charlie's $1.08, $1.80. Ben King's $4.50. Jesse Hogan $8. Mackay's at 12. Waterman 18.
Jesse Hogan might be the one.
True, $8.
$8. They've got to win every game from here going on. So he's basically got to kick 3-4 a week. Charlie might have a week off from now to then. He goes to the bench. He doesn't play much in the fourth quarter these days, Charlie. So
what's the shortest we've had someone in for the Brownlow?
Oh, there was times guys were like $1.50 unbettable.
Oh, no, like at this point of the year.
Yeah, well, 3.30 for Cripps. Heaney was 3.75 earlier in the year. I think 3.30 is the shortest. It's going to be a great Brownlow. Wow, you can't even bet on Isaac anymore.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They've taken him away until you can get...
What was Lachie Neale before this round started? You said on Gold Rush. 21-1?
Yeah, 21-1. So he was sitting at 34s for about 8 weeks.
Fuck, we should have bought that.
You can't buy everyone or else you're losing money, definitely.
True. It's just, but it would have been fun Brownlow night knowing you've got a fair few.
This is the one on the night because we know he's around $34. Yeah.
Yeah.
The middle part of the pack. If he polls anything early, anything like we have a sniff, we have it. Yeah. You have it in the computer ready to go. $50.
Bang.
On.
Oh God. Anyway. Oh, I think it's a Freo Brisbane or Freo Essendon grand final, Das.
It is not an Essendon Fremantle grand final.
I think it is. I think the Blues and the Swans are cheeks.
Yeah,
both little boyed.
That would make me throw up. Essendon supporters, once again, well done. That was one of the better performances of the week.
You've got Dogs at Marvel. You know Certainty's in that.
They're so injured.
True. North at Marvel, it's Certainty's.
Next.
Port Adelaide at Marvel.
Next.
Collingwood MCG.
Next.
North MCG. So Hawks MCG.
Next.
Eagles Optus.
Next.
What, you reckon you go 6-0?
Why not?
I don't reckon you do. You're not that good.
What? Jay, just don't think about the 6-0. Think about every team individually.
Well, I watched Collingwood beat you at the MCG earlier in the year.
Yeah, we got tape on them now.
You got day cost.
Now we do them in.
I think the Dogs is probably nearly a 50-50 game.
We do Bontin. You know why? Because he does this every year. So this is our chance. We're going to get him back.
I wonder if Can you guys finish on top? Well, we're 8 points clear. We're 1 win away. We've got a percentage of 140.
I don't think you guys are going to have to do something like.
We're going to have to absolutely poo the bed.
Yeah.
You're only 34 points away from the same amount of points for than us. We're still the most points for, and we're still the least points against. Oh, Freo are close. I think Freo are the best team in the comp.
If they finish top 2, it's going to be interesting, Jeff. But then again, they're still going to have to come win at the MCG, where I don't think they've played. They've played once this year.
Yeah. Fucking hell.
Anyway.
That's a long roast. This is going to go an hour and 40 minutes.
That's all right.
Oh, well, hope people listen.
You can listen to it in a couple of parts. Shout out to all the Saints supporters. Shout out to all the Giants supporters. Well done.
You've ruined our podcast.
You've ruined our week.
You've ruined us. Fuck, I'm terrified for North next week. Fuck.
If we get it, can you imagine? Are you kidding? No, let's just hear if you can't lose to North, that would be the best.
Losing to North's one thing, but knowing you go on Brisbane at the Gabba the week after is the other thing. We just need the one win for the cushion to go to the Gabba with a 50-50 chance.
Oh, mate.
Oh. Anyway,
well done.
Let's get out of here.
Hey, you're going to sleep terrible tonight.
Oh, horribly. I've had about 4 Carlton drafts. Had a few at the viewing bar.
Nice, yeah.
Had a red wine. Someone bought a thing with red wine.
Who'd you go with?
Just some family friends were there as well, and they had a thermos full of red wine. They poured me a red.
A thermos full of red wine.
Yeah, it was good.
Oh, you're going to have a Marvel splitter tomorrow morning.
Am I what? A Marvel fucking splitter. The Swans are shit. As long as Isaac doesn't get suspended.
He's going to get suspended.
Fuck. I haven't had a look at it. Fuck's sake. I actually watched it live. I watched him, in the video, he turns around and apologizes. Like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, bro. I watched that live. I'm like, I just saw him do it.
It's just because he actually he decided to hit him in the guts, but his gut wasn't there. His nose was there. He's bleeding. It's the intentional strike to the head jab. 1 week.
Saints supporters would rather tackle Chad Warner than have Chad Warner on their side. Fucking cowards. Fucking cowards. Fuck me. It was pissing me off. They would rather boo Errol Gordon than have Errol Gordon. That's the sort of supporter they are. Just fucking shithouse. All 7,000 of them that were there. Fucking hell. Weak as piss. Let's get out of here. See you guys.
No, mate.
Right.
Well done.
Chances are you're about to lose. For free and confidential support, call 1-800-858-858 or visit gamblinghelponline.org.au.